Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and I will be the language trainer for this hour, and we will be doing a topic on people's appearance. We will be discussing different vocabulary words that you can use to describe people. We will be putting words in categories in their hair, body, skin, or face. We will describe these pictures. We will look at the opposites. What is the opposite of dark, for example? And then we will look at some words that are a little bit more polite to say about people when you're describing them, and then also about changing your appearance. And then we will have a talking point where we will discuss these in a little bit more detail. So that is the plan for today. I look forward to working with you all as you practice your English skills. So again, my name is Holly, and I am a native English trainer out of Idaho in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. I am currently living also in Idaho. However, I lived away from Idaho for about 20 years. And I lived in South Korea for a couple years. I lived in Finland for just over 11 years. I also lived in several states and have had the chance to travel to different countries on holiday and special projects. So that's a little bit about me. I've been teaching English since 1994, and I started teaching online in 2006. And started teaching here at Verbling in last September. So it's been about, I guess, 6 or 7 months since I started teaching on Verbling. All right. So again, the topic for this lesson is on people's appearance. So describing what people look like is what we will be doing during this class. So, all right. A couple more minutes, and if no one comes, then I'll just go ahead and teach the class anyway. So, excellent. So right now I'm in Idaho, where the temperature is actually quite calm. It's like we have spring conditions right now, which is very strange for us, because we're usually they were usually fairly cold, but this year it's been kind of a very mild winter. Right now, since it's at 8 p.m., we have a 4 degrees Celsius, or if it's Fahrenheit, it would be 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we had it looks like a high of 10 degrees today. So it's maybe cold for some of you and warm for the rest of you. So so anyway. All right, well, let's look at these words. Let's study the following adjectives and put them into the correct categories below. And if somebody comes, then we'll just go ahead and start over. If not, we'll just continue using this. So, okay. Bear with me a moment. Hello? Okay. All right, so we have these words here. We have curly, we have curvy, we have dark, dyed, ginger, hairy, oval, overweight, and pale. We have pretty, spotty, straight, tanned, thin, wavy, and well-built. And so we'll be looking at these words and where they actually belong. So first of all, what do the words mean? So so one thing that we can do is we can look at Google Images real quick and see if we can figure out what these different words mean, and that will help us look at what category they are in. For example, the word curly. Let me let me show you what that means. This would be curly. So the word curly goes with hair. So curly hair. Okay, and now let's look at the word curvy. Curvy usually goes with women, with body. Then of course, dark, let's get that off the screen. Dark has more to do, well, when we look at dark, we have to consider, we're actually talking about skin. So dark skin. So a dark skin. Dyed. What would that have to do with? Well, with that one, it's usually with dyed hair. So if your hair is dyed, it means it's a different color. You can also dye t-shirts and other things, but dyed hair is what it usually is. Then we have the word ginger. For ginger, we of course have the root, but in this respect, we're talking actually about ginger hair. A person with bright red hair, we will nickname them the ginger. Okay, if we have hairy, that could be hairy body, hairy skin, hairy face, hairy body or hairy face. We have oval, that would be a face. Oval is a shape. Let's see, let's look at that would be, so an oval face, for example. Of course, if somebody is overweight, that means they are fat, so that would be body. So if you're overweight, that would be someone who has more fat than they should. Many Americans have that problem, but it isn't just limited to Americans. Pale. Something is pale, you're talking about the skin color. Very, very white, very pale skin. If you're pretty, that could be usually with pretty, that's the face, pretty face. Spotty. If something is spotty, that usually we're talking about the face. This means spots. These are spots. This dog has spots, and we have a spotty face right here. Straight, that usually means hair. If something is straight hair, for example, would be straight this way. Tanned, of course, is tanned skin. That would be, this would be tanned, this would not be tanned. Thin, of course, would be body. If you're thin, you're not overweight. This is overweight, this is thin, and this is normal. And this is a little overweight. So then we've got wavy. Wavy has to do with, usually with hair. This is also wavy lines, but usually when we use the word wavy, we're talking about hair. Now, well-built, this word right here, if you look at this picture right here, you have thin or skinny, average, well-built, and overweight or fat. So these are some words to use to describe these different things. So now what we're going to do is we're going to describe the picture. Let's choose the pictures and choose the correct words to complete the text. Okay. The girl in the left picture is rather pretty. Her hair is straight, blonde, and shoulder length. She's got pale skin and a rather round face. Okay, now the man on the right looks slim. His skin is quite tanned. He has an oval face, I think, an oval face. And he is clean shaven. His hair is medium length and gray. So he's got gray hair. Now, so let's go on. We have opposites. Let's study the descriptions on the left and complete their opposites on the right. We've got dark hair. We've got fair hair. Broad shoulders, narrow shoulders. Short hair, long hair. Pale skin, dark skin. Full lips, thin lips. A slim build, a muscular build. Okay, now let's match the adjectives on the left with the polite ones on the right. So if somebody is unattractive, a lot of times we will say that she is plain. Unattractive usually goes with a plain woman. If the person is skinny, we will say she is thin. If the person is short and fat, well, we might say that he is stocky. If he is old or she is old, we will say she or he is mature. If he or she is very fat, we will say he or she is overweight. So hi, Claudio. How are you today?
Oh, hi, Holly. Not bad. Doing great.
Thank you. Excellent. So remind me where you are from.
I'm from Brazil.
Okay, excellent. It's quite late there, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It's quite late. Sorry, Holly.
Quite late?
Yeah, no, not so quite late. Oh, it's in America. I don't know where you are.
No, I'm in the U.S. I know where Brazil is.
You are in the U.S.? Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Brazil
I know where Brazil is.
Yes.
But it's about 1 a.m. or midnight?
Oh, sorry, Holly. I thought that you was asked me about it quite quite late. I confused. Yes, quite late now.
Yeah.
Midnight now.
Yeah, so I thought, wow, Brazil, great. Because every once in a while I'll get somebody from Brazil in this time period, but not a lot. so excellent. How's your weekend been so far?
Oh, it was good. I had to work something, and after that I set some time to buy the material to my daughter, to her English school, to her school, to her regular school.
Okay, so material, so some like school supplies for her. When you say material, what do you mean?
I don't know how to say material. It could be books and pen, rubber.
Okay. In English, what we call that would be school supplies.
School supplies, okay.
Yeah, school supplies. Yeah, so so you had to buy some more school supplies for her. How old is she?
She's 11 years old.
11 years old. Okay. And so she's in 6th grade, 5th grade?
Yes, 6.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Today we were talking about that because it's a new moment of her life, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
a special moment. It's a special moment here, especially for her.
Uh-huh. Okay. So now, do you guys have, is the school year starting now in February? The new school year?
Yes, yes.
Ah.
The school year starts here in February.
Ah.
Not as you in August.
So
In
we start August or September,
August.
depending.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then,
as you here, we start after the summer, but our summer is in January.
okay, that makes sense. And that makes sense, yeah. And I lived in Finland for 11 years, and they usually started early August. And in my country, we start late August. And so every country is just a slightly different, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And um,
yeah. That's the why I said, oh, today I was buying supply because we talk about a lot about the new year because now she will study English.
oh, really?
It's
Yeah.
very fun.
Is she
It's a good
excited about
experience
it?
for her to be fun.
Yeah.
She's
Is she
very
excited
excited.
about it? Yeah.
Yes, yes, she is.
Yeah.
She is
Now,
because after
mhm.
that, here in Brazil, when you go to the sixth year, I don't know,
Sixth grade? You say sixth
sixth
grade?
grade. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to the sixth grade, and you have to change the time of your school. And if
Ah.
you started to study on the morning with the older children,
Older.
older
Ah.
children. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the younger kids, do they go later to school in Brazil?
Yes, yes, younger go later, afternoon.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. Yeah. In the States, sixth or seventh grade also is also a big thing as well, but it's not because for the same reason. Usually in the lower grades, they have one teacher and they stay in the same room the whole day. But when you get into sixth or seventh grade, you go to junior high where you change teachers and you change rooms every hour.
Here happen the same.
Yeah, so it's a real important, um, really also a very important time. So, um,
And you have to get an armchair, an arm to put your books there.
yeah, or you
Here,
have to get a locker in the States.
a locker, yes, yes.
Yeah.
She was very excited about to have six or seven, I don't know exactly, seven teachers.
Okay, so it's the same in Brazil as well. Okay, yeah, I remember having that feeling, and of course, I think every age is excited about something because, like in the States, the kids when they're kindergarten or first grade, they're excited about riding on the yellow school bus by themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so so
Yellow
every
schoolist is the board on the wall. No.
the yellow school bus.
Oh, yellow school bus. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. I know. I know. Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
the younger kids with they ride on this bus without their parents. So
She got this moment as well.
oh yeah.
But here in Brazil, we don't have this kind of bus,
Uh-huh.
and we have a common transportation with a lot of children, but
Uh-huh.
it's not so specific like this bus, so classic.
Uh-huh.
This bus is
Yeah.
very fast.
Yeah, and it was interesting in Finland where I lived for many years, the kids rode the regular buses, regular city bus, and it was very strange for me. And I remember one time seeing a friend's daughter riding on the bus by herself, and I was very surprised. I was like, oh no, what is she? And then I had to remind myself that we were not in the States. She was safe, and she was 9 years old, and she could do this by herself. So
Yeah, some children here, in Brazil, and have done the same.
Yeah.
And to be honest, here in Brazil, it's not so safe, the thing. So, and it can be dangerous, but it's common as well. But I feel scared about it because I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's common, very common, very common.
Hmm.
I start
Yeah.
to go to with public bus to the school when I was 6 years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So it's in the States, because of the yellow school bus, it's not very common at all. And I remember when I flew my 16-year-old niece, who had a driver's license and everything, to Finland, and I taught her how to take the bus. And then I sent her somewhere on the bus by herself. And she said to me, "Now, my dad, your brother, is going to be very upset when he finds out you did this." So, and I'm like, "You're 16, you'll be fine." So, but anyway, okay. So the topic for this class is people's appearance. So, do you see the words on the board?
Yes.
Do you know all of those words?
Oh, let me check. Pretty, I know. Pale, curves, dark, curve, dark,
Curvy.
curvy,
Uh-huh.
and thin, well built, overweight, oval. So I don't know, spotty,
Mhm. Okay.
diet. A thing that I guess that I know is a kind of when I get the sun and a bit like that. And ginger, I don't know, and curly.
Okay. There's some word. Okay, let me start with the word thin. This helps a lot. This kid right here is thin. This kid right here is well built, and this kid is overweight. So thin to overweight.
Okay.
So, and this is normal and starting to gained weight, overweight. So,
So I was wrong about well built. I was think that well built could be in a people with an beautiful body.
it could be, but usually it's let's look at this. A well-built body. Um, yeah, it could be. I mean, that's what this is said. This says, but when I hear of a well-built, it's somebody that's not yet overweight, but heading there. But of course, this man, for example, he's well-built, but um, if he stops working out, he's probably going to be fat. You know,
Yes.
so. So
But I can say I can be ironic with some friend, for instance. Oh man, you are being well built because probably he or she is drinking is eating a little bit
uh-huh,
more
uh-huh,
with an some belly, and I
uh-huh.
could say, oh, you are well built.
Well
Me,
built. Because imagine what you'd look like if you changed that fat to muscles.
this
Yeah,
belly, this belly is well built like that.
yeah, yeah. You can be ironic that way. So, the curly. Did you know this word? Curly.
No, I don't.
Okay, curly has to do with hair. So, so you have curly hair. So basically, when usually a woman's hair is like this. Some men have curly hair as well, but it's
Yeah.
real wavy. Um,
My daughter has curly hair.
oh, does she?
Yes.
It looks nice, but I know that women with curly hair, it takes them years to grow it out. Where
Yeah.
women with straight hair, they can grow it from short to long in 6 months. So,
That happened
so
the same year.
yeah. And curvy is what you know the word curvy, so what does that have to do with? Is that hair, body, skin, or face?
Oh, I guess that is meant to body,
Yes, curvy body, yes.
curvy body, with
Yeah.
the back maybe some curvy. That's
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And dark, what would that have to do with? Hair, body, skin, or face?
Yeah, the skin,
Yes,
dark
dark
skin.
skin. Yeah. And dyed. Do you know that word?
I don't know, guide. And
Okay.
I have a guess about to be the about the face
Mm,
below the eyes, not?
no, it
No.
has to
Okay.
do with hair.
Oh,
So if you have dyed hair, you have colored it. So I
oh,
mean, some of the hair is dyed that is actually looks really nice, and others, it depends on the colors you choose. You can also have, if you remember this, tie-dye T-shirts.
tie-dye t-shirts. I don't
Remember
know.
these?
No, no. Ah, cool, cool. Yes, I
Do you remember
remember.
those so tie-dye shirts. So the word dye, the same material that we put in the shirts is used to put in the hair. So dyed hair is what it is.
Okay.
Okay, ginger. Do you know that one? Any idea?
Ginger?
Hmm.
No, I don't have
Yeah.
any guess about.
Okay. Yeah, ginger is has to do. It's funny because if somebody it has this character trait, a lot of times that is their nickname too. So maybe an unofficial, but somebody who has ginger hair
No, okay,
is called a
ginger.
ginger. So a redhead is a ginger.
And it works with men.
Yes.
Ginger.
Yeah. In fact, I had an employee on my team who when I was a supervisor, and he was actually very, very handsome, and he had ginger hair, and I was trying to describe him to somebody, and he goes, "You mean that ginger over there?" so
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah. So
they are wonderful. I agree. It's very beautiful, beautiful hair, beautiful pills,
beautiful color. Yeah.
beautiful color. Yes.
Yeah. I think it is. Hairy. What do you think Harry would go with?
Oh, Harriet, I've never heard this word, but I can guess that means some people with a lot of hair. Could be.
Yeah. Usually it has to do with, for example, a hairy body.
Hairy
And some of these
body.
examples are pretty bad. So,
Hairy body, yes.
you know,
Here we have a,
Tom Selleck is better. So he's got hairy right here.
yeah.
So,
Here in Brazil we have a famous actor called Tony Ramos. He's
uh-huh.
very famous about his hairy body.
Okay. Yeah.
I
And then
can, I can use this word, for instance, to some man with long hair. Could I say that he's hairy?
if he has long hair on from his head,
Yes, just in his
no,
head, like
no,
a rocker.
no. If he had long hair and he had a long beard, then you could say he's hairy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but otherwise, let's see. Let me look at Google Images, see if it comes up with. Yeah, usually hairy has to do with the body. Um, Sometimes you can say a hairy face, but normally not. So
Oh, hairy.
yeah, and oval.
Oval. I know what this word means, but yes, it matched with face probably. Oval
Yeah,
face.
oval face. Yeah, because it's an oval face shape basically. So okay, and overweight.
Overweight body. Body.
Yes, definitely body. Overweight.
is after to be well built. After
Yeah.
to be well built. If I am well built, I'm going to
You
overweight.
could be. Well, if you're well built, you could become overweight very quickly if you continue if you start being lazy. So, all right, pale. What would that be?
Oh yes, with skin.
Skin, yes. So you
Yes.
have dark skin and pale skin. Now, I was under the impression, somebody told me, I believe, that Brazil is very similar to the States, in that you guys have pretty much every skin color of people. Is that true?
Yes, completely true. We have a lot of. We are very multicultural
Hmm.
here, but we have a lot of racism as well. Sometimes I don't know, but and the biggest the big cities is very. It depends. It depends on the state that you are, and
Hmm.
and here we have some places that is very. It's not so common. You see some people with
Dark
some
skin.
dark skin.
Hmm.
It's not a problem because, and on the other hand, we have some place with more with more people
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
more dark skin people. But
Yeah.
we are very misogynist.
Hmm. And yeah, that's the same in the States as well. Like where I'm from, when I was growing up, the we had Mexican Americans and then white Americans, and we didn't have any other nationalities or ethnic groups. But now we have a lot more, so which is great. I left for 20 years and I came back, and Idaho is now multicultural too. So it's like yay. So.
Yeah. And I really enjoy this kind of place
Mhm.
with the multicultural situation because you can get a lot of experience and I
Mhm.
think that Brazil is good. That's one of the good things about about Brazil and about the United States as well.
I think so too. Yeah, it's like one of my colleagues when I first started teaching English. I was teaching English in Korea, and they were talking about how they are a monocultural society. So they have just one culture, and they're all from the same people. And somebody started to criticize the U.S. because of our racial issues. And she looked at them and she said, "But at least we've learned to live with each other." You
Yeah.
know, as opposed to countries that have not. So I was like, wow, I had never thought about that. But we have problems, but most of the time we do very well as far as race. So.
Yeah, then racist issues is common because it's the first way to judge some people about race, about religion, about the things.
Mhm.
But if we educate our population about we can be very different among ourselves and independent of this kind of things. I think
Mhm.
that we start to get an new way to see the world, and it probably will be in a matter of the past.
I
You know?
agree. I totally agree. So. Yeah, it's interesting how even see the world differently than our parents and our grandparents did. So
Yes, my grandparent was completely racist.
mine were too. In fact, my grandmother would roll over in her grave if she knew that my brother had married an African American lady. So,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but
Here happened the same. My grandfather, my grandmother not so racist, but my grandfather was completely racist too. And
mhm,
here in Brazil, when I was children, when I
uh-huh,
was a
a
child,
child. Uh-huh.
and uh, it was very common jokes, racist jokes among the children, and among
Mm-hmm.
the society, and it have changed too fast, especially since last years. And
Mm-hmm.
because we used to say that, oh, Brazil is not a racist place, but
Mm-hmm.
when we start to see that we were racist,
Mm-hmm.
we start to change. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that we are not completely racist. we
Yeah.
just we just make fun about that and
Yeah.
about our own past. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think every country has its drawbacks and so forth. But yeah, my sister-in-law is just a wonderful, wonderful person, and my grandma would absolutely love her, but she'd have a hard time with the color of her skin. It's like, grandma? So, but she's not alive anyway, so
Yeah.
um,
But nowadays here with my grandparents, they
uh-huh,
have they have acclimated with that, and
uh-huh,
they have changed their own brains and
the way they think.
as yours, and they are lovely person.
Uh-huh.
They couldn't do anything bad with no one, but
Yeah. Well, it breaks my heart when I hear somebody who is younger than about 70 years old. Um, it breaks my heart that I hear them if they're racist because they didn't grow up that way. Well, not 70, I guess under 60.
uh,
Anybody that was raised in the 60s and beyond should not be racist. So.
yeah, here in Brazil we have this kind of guys as well, and
Mhm.
I don't know why they have behaved like that, but I
Mhm.
think that the most of them will change their head and during their lives,
Mhm.
and probably and other will not change their mind, and they will have to be racist in our own houses, as we said here, and in
Mhm.
our own bath,
Yeah.
probably, because the society have changed a lot, and we can we have to count with the diversity to build
Mhm.
a better society. We can't say, oh no, we don't need you, we don't need you, we just need us, because
Yeah.
it's impossible here.
Mhm. Yeah, so instead of count with, we have to count on diversity.
Count on,
Count on, which of course means depend on, of course.
depend on. Okay.
Yeah, depend on diversity. But I like that. It's actually, that's why I wrote it down. I was like, oh, that's a good way to say it, because we do as societies, we really have to count on diversity or depend on diversity because if everything's the same, it's boring, you know.
Yeah,
So.
and a lot of these people work very well, and they are scientists, they are teachers, they can be mechanics, engineers, and doctors, and
Mhm.
better doctors, and I have a friend and who who worked a lot to
Mhm.
became a doctor. He is dark skin, and he's very old, and maybe not so very old, but she she got our past, our racist past, and
Mhm.
he was the only dark skinned student at the university, and
Oh wow.
he's probably the best doctor that I have ever seen in all my life.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we we couldn't say, oh no, this guy cannot be a doctor because we lost his specialty, his
Mhm.
talents.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great conversation. It looks like okay. Let's go on. We got the first line, and if we want to, we'll do the second line and see if we can move on to another topic. So, one thing that's nice about these lessons is we don't actually have to stay on the topic very much. So, so pale. We have dark skin, pale skin, pretty. What word would that be used? I mean, what category would pretty be in?
I think that it could be mastered with any category. For pretty face, pretty skin, pretty body.
Yeah. Yeah, normally it's used with pretty face. I would say that would be the more common one. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, just like with hairy, you can say a hairy face as well. A pretty can also go with pretty skin, pretty hair. You have very pretty hair. Probably not a body. We wouldn't use pretty for body. Maybe you would say a beautiful body, but not a pretty body.
What's the difference between pretty and beautiful? I didn't get that because in Portuguese we don't have this kind of difference. Could I say that pretty? I'm talking about the small things, not huge things.
The difference between pretty and beautiful. I've never thought about that. I need to let me talk it out. Let me think. I'm googling it too. Difference between.
Can I say pretty woman, but not a pretty man? Pretty man sounds weird.
You can't say a pretty man. No. Well, you can kind of. Let me see.
Yes, this one. I use this word a lot. But I feel that sometimes I use this like a pretty body, and body. I don't know. It's like to hear beautiful bodies. Body sounds better.
Yes. I would say that. Yeah, beautiful. This is what I think of. I think of when I think of somebody who is pretty, I think of somebody who's a little bit more innocent. Maybe a pretty girl. Maybe your daughter is pretty. And then when I think of the word beautiful, I think of it's even more powerful, I guess. You know.
I know. In Portuguese, we usually use some difference between female and male.
Yeah.
Like earth is a male noun, a female noun here. I don't know why, but we have this difference. I know that is very difficult, but maybe could I say that the earth is pretty earth?
Yes, and that's the thing though. So we also can. So a pretty scenery or a beautiful scenery. If something is pretty, well, this is really hard to even think about the difference between pretty and beautiful, because they're in many respects they're synonyms, but I've always seen this beautiful as a little bit stronger.
Okay.
So if something is pretty though, they're also usually beautiful.
If I use pretty body, could it be a way to put about it? I feel that some body is not so beautiful, but my friend think that she has a wonderful body and a beautiful body, and I could I say she has a pretty body, and
no. If the word that you would use for that is you would say plain. If you think that if your friend thinks she has a beautiful body but you don't, you would say, oh no, she's pretty plain. She's plain. Pretty.
She's in a regular body, like.
Yeah, regular. To me, it's more with. Oh wow! More. I think of innocence when I think of pretty. Hi, Bakri. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. We're talking about the difference between pretty and beautiful. Have you ever thought about the difference between pretty and beautiful? Besides the fact they're used, both words can be used to describe a woman, a girl, and scenery or mountains and things like that, but cannot be used to describe a man. But what's the difference between a pretty girl and a beautiful girl?
Uh, Pretty. It has. Um, I'm not sure, but like.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah, I think it's interchangeably used as the same meaning at the end of the day.
yeah, in many respects it is very interchangeable. For me, the only difference is I would use pretty with more if it's more innocent.
Like
Um,
what?
a young girl, a little girl. Oh, you're so pretty. But
Okay.
I probably wouldn't call a say about a model. I would, name a model if I think she's pretty. I might say she's beautiful. That's the only thing I can think of.
If
But
I
even
if I
then,
if I said that some model is pretty, it could sound not so good. It can sound impolite, like.
oh no, you can say
No.
that she's beautiful, she's pretty. But I think they're synonyms in a lot of ways. Um, if
If we
you,
are talking, oh, she's beautiful, she's beautiful. Yes, she's pretty. It
yeah.
sounds weaker.
Yeah, it's interesting. I when you asked this question, I Googled it real quick, and I don't find any English language sites that are asking this. It's all native speakers that are wondering the difference. So, and I don't see I don't see any sites I trust. Maybe well, even Huffington Post, I do trust them, but yeah. So it's interesting. That is a question that has been asked. But
Native speakers,
even native
native
speakers don't
speakers
know.
have native speakers have asked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
according to these questions here. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
Because in Portuguese we have just two or three words. So we have
uh-huh.
a word here. Do you remember that movie called Pretty Woman?
Yes, with
And
Julia Roberts and Richard Gere.
yes, here where we call it this pretty with the word that sounds linda here in Portuguese.
That
And
sounds what?
linda, linda.
Linda.
It's in Portuguese. I'm telling you in a
Uh-huh.
Portuguese word.
Yeah, so it was localized actually. So
Yes, but this word I can use this word just to talk about and a strong and a like wonderful, not
mhm.
really like as I said. No,
Mhm.
that's the why pretty and beautiful and wonderful and handsome and cute.
Mhm.
Not so
Mhm.
clear in my mind, but I know that it's very difficult. It's in a habit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's us.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. The word spotty. Do either one of you guys know what that would be? Bakri, do you know
Spotty
that word?
face, like usually like a lot of spots on the face.
Yeah, spotty face. Let me show you guys. Give you a visual to give you an idea. But somebody who has a spotty face would be this type of thing. Um, so, and some are some are natural, some are not. Like this one is definitely not a natural thing. So, so yeah, so a spotty face. Having measles, for example, I had measles when I was a child, and I had a spotty face. So, straight. Where would that go, Claudio? Claudio, are you there? You're muted. Oh, he said be right back. Okay. Bakri, where would straight go?
Straight with hair.
Straight hair. Okay.
Yeah.
Straight hair. And how about tanned?
Tanned skin.
Tanned skin, yes. Yeah. Okay, and how about thin?
Thin body.
Yes. Thin. And then wavy.
Wavy hair.
Yes, wavy hair. And do you need me to show you a picture of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you guessed it, but it sounded to me like you weren't completely sure. Now, have I shown you my secret? I will a lot of time, not all the time, but many times I'll put this little mark right here, the mouse, next to the answer.
Okay, good tip.
I don't want people to be embarrassed if they don't know. So.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So this is wavy hair right here. So it's kind of like curly, very similar to curly, but not. It's kind of they're longer curls. I have wavy hair when it's natural. So but usually I have it up. So. Okay. So well built. I already talked about that. Do you know where that would be?
Body.
Yes, well built body. And okay. And so Bakri, can you describe yourself using some of these words?
Okay. Regarding the hair, none of the above. I have a little bit dark skin, oval to face, to a little bit. What else I can use? I think I have a thin body.
Do you have curly hair?
No.
Your hair is straight?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it straight black hair or straight brown hair?
It's straight black hair.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah,
right. And I have straight red hair that nobody believes me because it's turned dark during the years, and I still think I still see red. And or ginger. I didn't put it on here. And I am overweight. So unfortunately, unfortunately it was my choices that caused that to happen. Was not when I was younger. I have very pale skin, and when I was a child, I had a spotty face because I had freckles. Do you know what freckles are?
Yes.
My mom used to call them angel kisses. So Claudio, how would you describe yourself using some of these words?
Okay. Yes, I am thin. Could I say? My main characters that is not there. I'm bald.
Oh. Okay.
But when I had hair. My hair was wavy, but short, a little bit short.
Short wavy hair.
Yes, I already had long hair, long wavy hair when I was rocker.
Oh wow! So you can say you were hairy.
Yeah, I was hairy. Yes, I was hairy. I'm hairy nowadays, actually. Not so hairy, but especially I have bird. So I have bear.
Yeah, but not on the top of your head.
Not on the top of my head. My friends usually say, "Oh, this bird is to pretend that you have some hair." Got some hair.
So when did you lose your hair? How old were you?
Oh, I started to lose that when I was 28, 30 years old. No, I did 38. Nowadays I am 38.
Uh-huh.
But I have some hair. I still have some hair.
So you have what we would say in English. We would say you have a receding hairline.
Receding hairline. Receding hairline is that line just with some hairs on
Yeah,
top of the ear?
let me show you in Google Images. It might help. Receding hairline. And it's
Okay.
oh, this is probably how it started. And then of course
what I am. Oh, this word is perfect. We don't have any word to describe that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's the perfect description.
so yeah. So and most men have. I remember when my maternal grandfather, my mother's mother, started losing his hair when he was in his early 20s, and by the time he was 30, he was completely bald. And so my three older brothers, after they grew up, every time they get together, they compare their hairlines.
Yeah.
And all three of them have receding hairlines, but they have not lost their hair. So
I'm going to the same direction.
yeah. I think it's genetics and so forth. So, okay, I would encourage you guys to download this worksheet. It's actually quite good. So to look over some words, but we had fun talking. Everybody came late, and then we got to talking about different issues, Bakri. So let's discuss some of the following questions. Now, Bakri, how does your appearance influence the opinion that people have about you? What do you think? Can you speak up, Bakri? Okay. How about you, Claudio? How about you? How does your appearance influence the opinion people have about you?
Now, here in Brazil, it's completely important appearance here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that, but my appearance have influenced a lot because I think that my appearance is completely different
Mm-hmm.
from my way to be. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've actually heard that about Brazil. I had a colleague that worked. Her husband got transferred to Brazil, and I heard that about I think she lived in Argentina, Brazil, and one other country in South America. And she said that in South America, most countries are very appearance conscious.
yes, we have a strong appearance in conscience.
Yeah.
I think that is a Latin way to see. I don't know because when I went to Italian,
And Italy?
Italy, yes,
Mm-hmm.
no, they were strong concern with appearance like Brazil. It's the same what happened in Brazil. Even though I live in a city with not concern, with not so concerned.
Mm-hmm.
That is not so concerned.
When I lived in Korea, the appearance was a very big thing. When I lived in Finland, it was not. It was not a huge thing. Here in the States, I think it depends on the corporate culture that you're part of, depending on what appearance is all about. So, but I always look about 10 or 15 years younger than I really am. So, so that's really nice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I want to thank you for your participation. I hope you got a chance to speak as much as you wanted, and learn some new words at the same time. So, and continue to have a great evening. So sleep well. I guess it's time for bed. So.
Oh, thank you, Holly.
Thanks.
And that was a great class. I learned a lot, and I was lucky. I got almost in a particular class. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, you did. Almost a 1-to-1. So thank you. Take care.
Bye. Bye.